My name's Alexis Beamon, and I ran the Boston Marathon last year in 2013 and am returning to run it again this year in 2 weeks. I had never intended to run Boston a second time. I only wanted to ever do it the once, and I made it last year. You have to qualify to run Boston, and I did qualify last year, to run it last year. And then, of course, there were the bombings, and I was not able to cross the finish line. There was a few thousand of us that were not able to, and so I was at about kilometer 41, give or take, and a full marathon is just over 42. So I was close to the finish line when a group of police came out in front of us and stopped us, and we weren't sure why for quite a while, you know, a good hour or so before we kind of knew. And eventually word got around, people were on their phones and whatnot, that there were some bombs, and we were told the race is over, and we were rerouted another way, and we're kind of told you're on your own, the race is over, you just need to find your way back home. And what happened was there were quite a few runners that were running with their phones. I didn't have mine. So as we started to hear that there were bombs, I was quite worried. My entire family was at the finish line or near it. They were all in different locations. My husband, children, mother, and stepfather. So I borrowed someone's phone, sent a text to my husband, but I know the lines were clogged and there was a lot of text not getting through. So I was quite worried, of course, and the person whose phone I borrowed had just kind of walked away and disappeared, and then about half hour later I got a tap on my shoulder saying, I think this is a reply text for you. So I read it, and it was my husband saying, we're okay, are you okay? And I was so relieved, you know. And I said, okay, I think you just need to go back to the hotel. I'm not sure what's happening here, but I'll make my way there somehow, so just go and I'll meet you at the hotel. So my husband, children, and parents all went to the hotel, and I eventually got there. I had to walk about 5 kilometers from where we were stopped to where my hotel was after I figured out how to get there. I wasn't familiar really with the area, but so that was a hard, you know, that was a long, chilly walk, but immediately, like right, even before, you know, it all puts things in perspective, you know, what's important in your life when something like that happens. But before I knew there was the bombs in that hour or so, I was feeling really like, who's stopping my race, right? So then you find out what happened, and then that doesn't matter anymore. But after some time goes by, you start thinking, well, you know, I really would have liked to have finished it, and I wasn't sure if training like that again and having to qualify all over again was something I wanted to do, yet I had not crossed the finish line. So when the Boston Athletic Association made the decision to invite those of us who didn't cross the finish line back again to run it this year without having to qualify, I knew that I would definitely take them up on that opportunity. I think they didn't have to do that, you know, and so I feel lucky to be able to return and cross the line. And hope that this time I can cross the finish line upright and smiling, and we'll just look to the positive and hope for the best, that everything goes well. Pray for everybody's safety, and that all intentions are good.